Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about who killed Senzo Meyiwa because the state case here now it is very much cooked and last week exposed everything. Okay, let me tell you something. If you didn't know, this past week in court proved one thing beyond any doubts. This case is not weak, it is cooked from start to finish. I don't care who says what. Not halfway cooked, not undercooked, cooked, burnt, and finished. Cooked, burnt, finished. Because what we witnessed was not evidence being proven. What we were witnessing last week in that court of Judge Rata, we witnessed a story collapsing in real time. And the most important and the most dangerous thing for the state right now is that they can't stop it anymore. Ubi, they can't even stop it anymore. Now, this is what they are trying to sell us. It is a story that was supposed to fly. And guess what? It does not believe it can fly. That story itself does not believe it can fly. It's not flying. It's not doing any of that. At the beginning, they were excited. Oh, no, no, no. Ubaloy is going to explain what he found. Those were the state supporters saying that this will, they will go on like this will clear everything. This is where it all comes together. Peace and P, we've been waiting. 3 years, we've been waiting. Luto, Zelch, Akuko. They wanted to create a story where a certain people must not be trusted, certain versions must not be accepted, and cell phone data must be treated as gospel. But then something happened that surprised them. The defense said something very simple. Read every transaction line by line on record, and that's when the story stopped flying. And Ubaloyi was not impressed. He was trying to make all the excuses in the book, but Umnisi was like, I was cheli loco, faka konke, we have time. Faka konke, we have time, don't you dare. And Ucharata was like, bathi bafuna zoyi thousands, zoyi millions. Basifuna zonke transactions, put them there. And when you listened, you were like, Nisi, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much. Then we have when the dates and the times betrayed them. Let's look at that. You see, the state had been reading selectively. You know how they are. They were exposed a long time. They are still at it even now, and they keep getting exposed for that. They were reading what suited the narrative they want to bring across, but they were not reading the dates properly. And the defense noticed that. They stayed quiet, they watched, they allowed the state to walk into its own trap. Because when the full records were finally read, we discovered something devastating. Key activity happened on the 24th of June, not on the 20th. That alone destroys the timeline they were pushing. And once timelines collapse, everything collapses with them. Because you can't invent timelines. It sits there, digital proof. Do you understand? Now, let's talk about the flying saucer problem. Let me explain it like this. If a flying saucer leaves, do you know that fly saucer, don't know what you call, was a fly saucer, leaves, travels via the R21, connects to N1, and suddenly appears somewhere else, then guess what? All of us are in trouble, Gesan. Because that's exactly what happens when cell phone data is treated as a fact without context, without corroboration, without proper custodians. Cell phone data is an investigative tool, not a magic wand. And the defense knew this. That's why they kept saying, read everything, don't cherry pick, read it. Oh, I love the defense that we have. Why the AVL evidence is a time bomb, and Ubaloyi does not like playing anywhere near the AVL. Don't. Let's talk about something even more dangerous for the state, AVL records, okay? The wrong SEPS witness testified about them, right? Not the custodians, not the people who actually control the system. And now Ubaloyi is still expected to read those on record. line by line. And here is the part that should worry everyone. 26 June 2020, suddenly the system was on maintenance. Convenient, right? Convenient, yes. Because the same period is when the cell phone data, AVL data should have been compared. Instead, we got silence. And silence in evidence is not neutral. Silence benefits someone, and that someone is the state. Now, here is what many people don't understand. Untanzi does not have to prove the state is wrong. The law is clear. The law is clear. The state must place him at the crime scene independently, reliable. Right now, there is no evidence placing him on the crime scene on the 26th of October, 2014. None. I mean zilch. I mean zero. The only thing tying him there is his own confession, so-called own confession. That means the entire case stands and falls on one question. Was the confession voluntarily, truthfully, reliable, taken lawfully? If it collapses, the state case has nothing left. Hence, Baloyi is fighting so much for, fighting for what? Fighting for the corroboration and everything, and it's not looking good. Okay, let me ask you something. From Monday until Friday last week, what did the state actually achieve? What did they prove? What did they solidify? Nothing, okay, guys. Nothing. Instead, contradictions multiplied, timelines shifted, witnesses weakened the case, and every explanation created more doubt. Every single day last week, the accused to Bongani Ntanzi exposed the state's version further. As I said before, and I stand by it, every time he opened his mouth, he empties the case to the core. That is the problem that Baloyi has here. Now, this case is not collapsing because of one mistake. It collapses because evidence was handled carelessly. Data was selectively presented. Proper witnesses were not called, and the story was prioritized over the facts. And now, under pressure, the story can no longer stand. It's not standing. So yes, it's frustrating to watch. Yes, sometimes you want to switch it off, but understand this. What we are witnessing is not chaos, it is exposure. And Baloyi is going to go down with this exposure. And once exposure starts, no amount of re-examination can undo it. The case is empty, and last week proved it to the core. There's nothing Baloyi can do right now. There is absolutely nothing that he can do. His time. Ubaloyi usheke ngengane, upusha ingane for no reason, but he knows deep down ukuthi it's over. He knows it's over. Whether uyathanda or akathandi, it's over. They are the ones that brought the records. They read the records and the case collapsed. That is why the state has nothing left. They have absolutely nothing left. They had the entire week last week. It exposed them in open court. And this is something that most people have suspected for years. Most people. And I was so happy when Umnisi demanded that every cell phone transaction must be read line by line. The state's entire narrative began to fall apart right there. Dates did not align, timelines shifted, and suddenly the story they were so confident about could not fly anywhere. There was nothing that they could do. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Do enjoy your day. Bye-bye.